Hello, my name is Jamie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Unlike any other YouTube channel that showcases Pokemon Go PvP content, mine exclusively showcases Shadow Pokemon. So, if you're into that type of content, I'd appreciate if you could like and subscribe.
So, let's get into today's video. In today's video, we are taking a look at my first Open Great League battles of Season 9. And, as I've seen absolutely everywhere and all over the Fight Club, shout out PvP Fight Club, if you're not a member, check it out. I'll put it on the right hand side so you can search that on Facebook. But absolutely everyone is going mad for XL Bastiodon. I absolutely hate this Pokemon. By far the worst Pokemon in the world. But obviously it is effective. So we're going to see if we can find a cheap alternative. So we're going with Mr. Potato Head Probopass. Or Shadow Probopass, of course. It's going to be running Rock Throw, Thunderbolt and Magnet Bomb. Its team partners today are going to be a couple of meta monsters with Shadow Swampert on its usual moveset, which is Sludge Wave in Great League, and Shadow Venusuar. We are going to be using Shadow Venusuar as the safe switch, trying to draw out any flyers we might see. Especially Alteria, as the back two are really going to struggle, and obviously Probopass would have no problem dealing with it. So without any further ado, let's get into the battles. In game 1 we see the flyer out front, which is absolutely fantastic for us. Due to its flying type, it will double resist the mud shots from Swampert, and Venusaur can only hit it for resisted damage. So this is where we want to see it. The opponent builds up to only 4 hexes, so I know it's an icy wind, so they're not even threatening the Shadow Ball. And before they get any more debuffs off on us, I take it out with Probopass. They then safe switch into Metachan, so we bring out our Venusaur, and they actually then switch out into Azumarill, so they're really weak to Venusaur in the back. They don't even shield, they're putting it all on Metachan. So we're going to hopefully draw a shield with this Frenzy Plant, which we do. And the opponent is going to have to either Ice Punch or Psyche. I'm not going to shield in case they bait us with Power Up Punch. They do throw the Ice Punch, and unfortunately we do get countered down. However, Swampert, up 2 shields, is going to be in a great position to finish off this game. They do actually have Power Punch, which isn't great for us. However, you can see these mud shots are starting to add up. So as much as I hate shielding pops, I'm going to shield this up. And by the time we get to the back-to-back Hydro Cannon, they should be in Hydro Cannon range. So first one comes through, this will draw the last shield, which it does. And this second one should be enough to take them out. Let's see. And yeah, that's a GG. So in that first match, you can see the team there working really well. So in game 2, we pick up a lead against Jellicent. This is kind of neutral. It is on Hex, so that is a bit better for us as the bubbles would be hitting for super effective. Again, the opponent doesn't even bait the Shadow Ball. They go for the super effective Bubble Beam, which is also debuffing us. And we go straight for this Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is hitting for super effective. You can see it does huge damage. And we actually managed to Rock Throw down. The opponent brings out a Stun Fist. We've got 2 great answers to this. So I safe switch into Venusaur. And in the back, they've got a Charm Ninetales. Obviously, Charm Ninetales isn't a great matchup against Venusaur. We do resist Charm, although it doesn't look like it, as we are super squishy. And we are going to be able to hit them back for super effective with Sludge Bomb. But even a Frenzy Plant would KO from this range. So we shield up the Weather Ball. We build up a lot of excess energy. And we go for this next Frenzy Plant. If the opponent shields, we will be able to take him out. The opponent no shields. Back out comes Stunfisk. We go immediately for this Frenzy Plant, which will do huge damage if it goes unshielded. The opponent does shield, and they are going to have to throw their energy, or we'll get to another Frenzy Plant. So at this stage, we can allow Venusaur to go down as it's done its job. And unshielded Stunfisk is going to really struggle against Shadow Swampert. Shadow Swampert can near one-shot Stunfisk with Hydro Cannon. Like you can see there, from 80% health, he's got no problem closing out this game. GG's to the opponent. So, moving on into this next battle, we've got the battle of the 2 bulky boys. We got our Shadow Probopass into Umbreon. We had a nice bit of lag at the start. I'm not sure really where their energy's at. What I like to do in this matchup is I do like to switch out at some stage. Like we said, we don't really want to see an Alteria in the back, as Probopass is our only answer. So, we're going to allow this next move to come through and look to make a switch into our Venusaur. So they're now dry on energy, and I switch into Venusaur, and we actually draw out a Deoxys. These Frenzy Plants do really chunk. We do have to be mindful of the Psycho Boost. However, as this is switch lock, I do have to make a decision. Are they going to go straight Psycho Boost, or are they going to Thunderbolt or Rock Slide? I no shield, get it completely wrong, so this is quite bad for us, as now we are up shields, but our Swampert is going to have a lot of work to do. They are now debuffed from throwing the Psycho Boost, so I'm not going to shield this. However, even debuffed, the squishy Shadow Swampert is now really starting to lose HP. Again, I'm not going to want to shield such a debuffed move, but you can see we are now running out of HP. The opponent now switches out to clear their debuff. This Hydro Cannon should be enough to almost take them out. We actually managed to get another couple of mud shots in, which is great for us. In the back, they've got an Azumarill. So it looks like just not shielding that Psycho Boost could possibly cost us. We are going to be able to get to this Thunderbolt, which will do big damage to the Azumarill. See, it gets them really low. You can see the Swampert now has hardly any HP, so unfortunately it looks like it is a lost game. We are almost at the back-to-back moves. Opponents should really just be looking to bubble us down, but they are throwing. We're going to shield this up, and I'm going to have to get to 2 moves. So again, the opponent throws. We get a mud shot through, but it's still not going to be enough. We are over-farming. This will be enough to take out the Azumarill, but unfortunately that Deoxys has got far too much health to be taken out. This Hydro Cannon is not going to do enough damage, and that's going to be a GG's. Very well played to the opponent. Going strike Psycho Boost there was the great play, and it won him the game. So GG's to that opponent. Moving on into this next battle, we pick up a terrible lead against Metachan. This Metachan was hitting our Probopass for double super effective damage, as obviously we share the same typing as Bastiodon. We managed to shield up the super effective move, and they make a switch into their own Bastiodon. So you can see these Shadow Frenzy plants do a huge amount of damage. I'm trying to time my moves not to let any smackdowns through, but unfortunately they still come through. We get this Bastiodon really low. However, this is actually not too bad for us. We can allow this charge move to come through, which takes us out. And we are going to be able to mudshot farm down this Bastiodon for free energy. I'm guessing they've got a Sableye in the back, and Sableye is not going to want to see a loaded Swampert. The opponent actually brings back out Metachan, which suggests to me that it isn't Sableye in the back. They must have something decent against Probopass. So I'm going to spam out these Hydro Cannons, and I'm going to look to try and swap out of Swampert at some stage. I am going to shield this up, as I believe Swampert will be the key to victory, as they haven't shown their third Pokemon. I'm over farming. I'm looking to snipe with Probopass. We managed to snipe that Metachan with a not very effective Rock Throw, and in the back is a Stunfisk. So this is quite bad for us. They are going to have to obviously Earthquake to take us out, so I'm going to try and get it into 1 Hydro Cannon range, which we do. The opponent is over farming, but they've not probably over farmed enough, as this Earthquake is going to take us out. However, they aren't going to be able to outpace us to the next move, so this first Hydro Cannon will draw the shield, which it does, and this next Hydro Cannon is going to take him out. So there, the opponent, what they should have done, they should have farmed to 100 energy, and they would have been able to clutch out this game. But we are in the early ranks, so mistakes are made. GG's to that opponent. In this next matchup, we pick up a lead against what I imagine to be a double legacy Dugong. These rock throws are hitting for super effective. The opponent actually throws after 5, so it can only be an Icy Wind, which is resisted. The opponent's still staying in, so I look to throw just before they get to their next Icy Wind. Let's see if the opponent actually chooses the shield, which is a bit strange. They now build up 2 extra ice shards, which will mean they're probably looking to land the water pulse. Even if I get baited here, it doesn't matter. They do throw the water pulse, but even if they was to bait me, they wouldn't be able to get to the water pulse without being farmed down. So we win the 1 shield out, and the opponent brings in, I didn't quite see what it was. It's an Azumarill, so we look to throw this super effective Thunderbolt, and I make a switch into Swampert. The opponent's building up a lot of energy, and we actually get to the Sludge Wave. So it looks like the opponent is going for the Hydro Pump. They no shield, and that takes out their Azumarill, and in the back is a Bastiodon. So it looks like the opponent made a few mistakes in that matchup, but like we said, it is the early rank, so GG's to that opponent. So moving on into this next battle, we pick up a lead against Flygon. This is terrible for Probopass, as the Earth Power would near one shot, but we do have 2 decent responses for it in the back, so we make a switch into our Venusuar, and we are met with a Nidoqueen. Again, Nidoqueen is absolutely everywhere this season. Shadow Venusuar's got an alright matchup, as these frenzy plants do near one shot. So we draw the opponent's first shield, we match shields to get this second frenzy plant off, so I'm hoping to go either shields down or wind switch. We draw the opponent's second shield, which is fine for us. And now I'm going to wait out my switch timer, and I'm going to have to bring in Swampert, as Probopass would be hitting for not very effective damage with Rock Throw. The opponent throws right away, so I'm calling the Poison Fang, which it is. The opponent again throws, they're only at another 5, so this again's a Poison Fang. They didn't even bait the Earth Power, so I'm not going to shield. I am now going to look to overfarm as much as possible, as at this stage we don't want to get another Poison Fang, as I would have to burn a shield as we're getting low on HP. The opponent waits out their switch time, and let's see what they come back in with. I imagine it won't be the Flygon, as they're not going to want to eat a Hydro Cannon. Unfortunately for us, they've got an Empoleon in the back. This Empoleon now can pretty much sweep our whole team. Our only win con here would be shield this up and hope that a Magnet Bomb one-shots this Flygon. I haven't tested this Probopass out, especially not in a matchup against Flygon, so this is science. Unfortunately, it doesn't KO, which is terrible for us, as now the only win con for us would be Mudshot down this Flygon. This looks like an impossible task, and unfortunately that's a GG's to that opponent. A really spicy team using Flygon and Empoleon, but had a really great matchup against what we had, so GG's to that opponent. So moving on into this next battle, we see yet another Jellicent. This thing is absolutely everywhere in Open Great League. Again, they only build up to 4, so this is just a Bubble Beam. Looks like we missed a fast move, as we actually do get beat to this next Bubble Beam, so we're going to be double debuffed, which isn't great for us. This Thunderbolt now won't do it as much damage. It should get them fairly low though, and I'm hoping I can Rock Throw down before they get to the next move. We are double debuffed. You can see these Rock Throws really aren't doing much. The opponent does get to a last minute move. Again, they don't have the energy for a Shadow Ball, so it's just going to be a Bubble Beam. We will survive, and we do manage to Rock Throw down. The opponent brings in a Grass type. I didn't quite see what it was, but this Magnet Bomb is going to do a nice bit of chip damage, even triple debuffed. It's actually a Quillin, or Quilladin. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, as I am dyslexic, but it's the mid-evolution of Chestnut. So we are obviously going to bring in our Venusaur, as obviously Swampert does not want to see any Grass type. This thing runs Vine Whip, Body Slam, and Energy Ball. So we managed to get a Vine Whip through. They're at their second Body Slam. I am now going to have to shield up. I'm expecting the opponent to try and catch at some stage, which they do. In the back's a Nidoqueen, so rather than throwing the Frenzy Plant, I bank that energy, because I'm going to need it to take out the Grass type in the back. The opponent throws after 5, so again it's only going to be a Poison Fang. And these Hydro Cannons will one-shot, so I'm going to have to try and draw both shields from the Nidoqueen. There's the first shield. This should draw the second shield, unless the opponent wants to rely on the Quilladin to close this match out. We do draw the second shield at this stage. I am going to be able to let Swampert go down. The Poison Fang doesn't quite take us out, but a couple of Poison Jabs will. However, we've got the Frenzy Plant ready, so we're going to land this Frenzy Plant, which will be enough to take out the Nidoqueen. We've saved our shield, so we're going to be able to shield the Body Slam up if they're at the move, which they're not, and this Sludge Bomb will be enough to take out that game. So GG's to that opponent. You can see there that the key to victory was saving the shield for Venusaur. So, moving on into this next battle, we pick up another lead against Umbreon. This is another fairly common Pokemon, especially now as we've had the second EV Community Day. So, like you saw the first time we saw this lead, I'm going to look to build up some energy with Probopass, and I'm going to look to make a switch into Venusaur to try and draw out that flyer such as Alteria. The opponent actually shields up our Magnet Bomb, which is great for us, as we do now have shield advantage. I'm not going to shield this move up, and I'm going to immediately switch into Venusaur. The opponent makes a switch out, and they actually do have an Alteria in the back, so you can see that if you are going to run a team like this that is double weak to something in the back like we are to Alteria, you do need to make a switch to draw it out. The opponent throws their energy, so Venusaur has done its job. I'm going to let this go down. I'm going to be able to bring in Probopass to get rid of the threat to Swampert. So I wait out my switch time. I'm going to look to commit to the Rock Throw down, as I think even a Sky Attack wouldn't be able to KO us, as it is double resisted. So back up comes the Umbreon. This Magnet Bomb will hit for a nice bit of chip damage. I can now switch into Swampert, and they are now in Hydro Cannon range. They're only at the Foul Play, so I am going to shield it up. It's actually a Psychic, so I must have miscounted. But I do think that Foul Play is the way to go, as it does get stabbed, so it's probably better DPE. The opponent actually shields up again, which is strange. So whatever they've got in the back must be weak to Swampert. I'm going to let this move come through. And in the back they have a Stunfisk. So he was right. I know this is a rock slide, but at this stage I can now shield up. And now we're at the back-to-back Hydro Cannon. So this first one will do huge damage. Unfortunately it doesn't take him out, so I'm going to get a little bit more energy together so I can beat the Umbreon to a move in the back. So this one will take out the Stunfisk. And I need 2 more Mud Shots, which we get there. And we're going to beat this Umbreon, who's now 2 more snarls away from the next foul play. So GG's to that opponent. So you could see in that last matchup, the key to victory for us there was to switch into Venusuar, as obviously we needed to draw out that Alteria. If we would have stayed in, we would have been in real trouble, as that Alteria probably would have swept our backline. So moving on to this next matchup, we see yet another Jellicent lead. The opponent safe switches into Nidoqueen. We meet him with Swampert, and they don't even shield. However, that could be because they've got an Abomasnow in the back. So I do go for this Sludge Wave, as I'm not going to bait. I am looking now to try and get some shields. We get a bit of lag. We do manage to draw the opponent's shield. It must have been a delayed CMP, as Abomasnow would win CMP against Swampert. They do throw the Weather Ball. They do undercharge, which is a great play on their part. However, we have now flipped this opening matchup. I am going to bring Probopass into this. The opponent switches back out into Jellicent, and we've got a Venusaur ready. So the opponent backs out. So you can see there that the alignment was key. GG's to that opponent. With the switch timer still being 1 minute rather than in previous seasons where we did have it with 30 seconds, a lot of times the alignment is key. So the fact that they had a really good answer for their safe switch, we managed to line our Pokemon up correctly. So moving on into this next battle, we've got yet another Umbreon lead. Seems to be really common. Most of the leads we have seen today have been either Jellicent or Umbreon. So you've seen how we like to play this out. We are going to try and build up a bit of extra energy. So the opponent throws a foul play. Does a nice bit of chip damage, and we're over farming. Opponent throws again right at the move, so we are now going to be able to switch out and make a switch into Venusaur like you've seen us do in previous battles. So in comes our Venusaur. Let's see what they switch into. The Umbreon isn't actually switching out. They are throwing. This is only after 4, so it is only a foul play. We don't have to be fearful of the Psychic yet, but I am thinking now Venusaur must be really good against whatever they've got in the back. So I do throw here to try and deny the Snarl, which we do successfully. And it looks like for some reason with my fantastic editing skills, this video is in normal speed as opposed to 1.6, so I do apologise for that. But the opponent is now throwing again, so we are going to be able to shield this up. And I'm going to overfarm heavily before letting off the next Frenzy Plant. The opponent gets to 2 Snarls, they're only 1 away from their next move. And they actually make a switch out, so they catch a Frenzy Plant. Let's see what they catch it on. They catch it on an Azumarill, which is a bit of a crazy play, so they must be super weak to Azu. So I'm counting their bubbles. That's 4, that's 5. So we do throw this Frenzy Plant off just before they get to the Ice Beam, as I don't want to have to burn a shield. So this is going to take out the Azumarill. The Umbreon is 1 Snarl away from a move, so if they come bring that back in, we are going to win CMP. So it looks like Venusaur is going on an absolute rampage in this matchup. Let's see if the opponent wants to burn their last shield, which they don't. And let's see what they've got in the back. I'm spamming out Swampert. And you're going to see here, this is probably why, I remember now, I did leave this in normal speed. So you're going to see here, we get a nice bit of lag. You can see I'm spamming the Hydro Cannon. Hello game, game, game. You can see the amount of lag. This is left at normal speed for this reason. So we do finally get some connection back. I'm going to fire this Hydro Cannon off. Remember, the opponent did shield a Frenzy Plant Umbreon in the first part of the battle. You can see there, the opponent still has a shield, so they didn't shield it up, and that did absolutely 0 damage. So this is what a lot of people reference as the third shield glitch. So obviously we should have took the opponent's shield with that, and then we should have already been able to take the match with Swampert. However, we are in a bit more of a tricky spot now, so I'm going to shield up this Rock Slide, as I guess the opponent doesn't want to debuff their counters, because they know they're going to rely on counter damage to take out the Probopass. See if the opponent Psycho boosts. They do not. They throw a Rock Slide. So we're going to have to get to this Hydro Cannon, which will draw the last shield. Obviously, if we would have managed to get the last Hydro Cannon off, this would be taking out the match. However, we're going to draw the last shield. Our switch timer's up, so we're going to switch into Probopass, and we're going to have to go for the Overkill Thunderbolt. So you can see there, even in Season 9, the game's still full of glitches. And at normal speed, you can see the lag spike was about 10 seconds. You love to see it, but we did actually manage to win that matchup. So let's have a look over the team today. We had our Shadow Probopass as a kind of a makeshift Bastiodon. I do think it fulfills the same role. If anything, perhaps it's a bit better, as I do like magnet bombs. It costs a bit less energy than the moves that Bastiodon would use, and to be honest, it has really hard wins or really hard losses, so it does fulfill the same role, and I would recommend trying it out. And at this stage, I would just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next